Okay, for my performance assessment, it kind of ties in with my activity. So after they have found all of their fractions in the fraction hunt, they will take all of these fractions and add or subtract them on their own separate sheet of paper. So this is the model. I have a number line, or I have all the fractions that I have a number line, and then I used like 2/8 plus 5/8 equals 7/8. I know that's really hard to see, so I'm getting a little closer. And then for number 2, I did 5/8 minus 3/8 is 2/8. So they will get to decide what fractions, or they'll get to decide which fractions they want to add together and which fractions they want to subtract, or they could do both. They could add and subtract all of the fractions together, however they want to do that. For my fraction, so like I said, it's going off my activity, the fraction hunt. So for the performance part of my assessment, for my performance part of my assessment, it says after you have the pictures glued down on a separate sheet of paper, you will add or subtract the fractions with like denominators. So all the fractions that they found with like denominators, they will add and subtract. For my modified instructions, for the performance part of the assessment, it says after you have the pictures glued down on a separate sheet of paper with raised lines, you will add or subtract the fractions with like denominators. These students will also be able to if they need to, write it on the back of their poster board because it has more room than just a small regular notebook paper. And for my rubric, it just has, did they follow directions? Great is I followed all the directions for this activity. Good and needs work is I needed many reminders about the directions from the teacher. Adding and subtracting fractions. Great is I added and subtracted all fractions with like denominators correctly with no mistakes. Good is I added and subtracted most fractions with few mistakes. It needs work. I did not add or subtract any fractions. So they just skipped that part for whatever reason. Then they would get a needs work on that part of the rubric. Group participation. I did my share of the group work and more. Good. I did almost as much work as others. Needs work. I did little or no work at all. And for the final presentation where they present their activity poster from the fraction hunt, they'll present it after all the class is done. Good is my work meets the criteria and I've explained my poster board thoroughly. Great is my work meets the criteria and I have explained my poster board thoroughly. Good is my work almost meets the criteria and I partially explained my poster board. And needs work is my work does not meet the criteria and I did not explain my poster board. And that is part of the performance assessment. Thank you.